the Palestinian refugee camps
They are
and saw how
not
displaced they
decapitating
were.
babies' heads. They are
Right, I
not
know, but
intentionally doing
they're
that.
blowing up entire residential buildings. I watched Al Jazeera's, and they're not covering that on CNN.
Well, I would be
All
very
they're
careful
showing-
with Al Jazeera. I mean, that's funded
I
by
see
a
the-
lot of these Middle East governments.
Yeah, but
I'd be very careful with Al Jazeera.
Okay, but I don't think they're faking pictures of families carrying their babies in, totally dead. You know, it's a two-way street. Israel has been killing Palestinians for the whole time Gaza has existed, and they've been contained in a prison.
Israel put in a warning, we're going to go in this area, civilians leave. Hamas tells them not to leave. Hamas wants them to be human shields. That's their tactic, technique, and procedure. How many other armed forces give warnings to get out before they go? I think Israel is probably the only one in the world that does that.
Absolutely. I don't condone the killing of any innocent civilians, and I don't condone what Hamas did in the kibbutzes, but Israel is doing the exact same thing with Benjamin Netanyahu, who is a radical right-wing crazy person, and I see hundreds of Palestinian families that are dead, and they have nowhere to go because they can't leave the Gaza because no one's opening their borders.
Well, that's
and they have
the thing. Now, you bring up a
300,000
good
ground
point,
troops
though. You
going.
bring up a really good point. Why aren't these Arab countries willing to absorb some of the Palestinian Arabs? They will not do it.
Because
Egypt will not do it.
all the
Saudi will not do
Palestinians,
it. None
they
of them
were all
will do it.
displaced from their homes in 1948. I was there. I saw where people
None of
were
them will
living.
do it.
in
None of the
caves.
Arab countries will be able to accept refugees.
You have my vote, but you don't now.
So hello everyone. I was just watching the ramification of what's happening in Gaza. Last I checked, there was already more than 1,000 persons killed, including more than 200 children. I was watching media coverage of what's happening there, not just in the Arab world, but also in Western media, even independent channels on YouTube, because I want to see what would be the coverage this time. Would it be neutral? Would it be pro-Palestine? Would it be, as usual, pro-Zionist? And while I was watching, first I apologize for the quality of the video, and I apologize for not looking so fine, but I am in the period of exams, and I actually compared myself a lot before I recorded this video, because I was kind of thinking about what would be the results for my exams. I'm going through a very important exam right now, and I need to dedicate myself 110% for revision, but I couldn't take it anymore. So I was just watching presidential candidate Ron Desantis speaking about the Palestinian issue. One American, a very brave American citizen, raised the issue of the fact that civilians are dying on both sides, and he obviously had no skin in the game. He couldn't care about what was going on politically, or who is getting affected by what. But the only thing that he truly cared about was the security and the safety of people, which is I applaud. I really, really do applaud people who think this way, because there is nothing wrong with saying I don't know. There's nothing wrong with saying I'm not educated about a situation. What is wrong is to assume, based on what media is telling you, assume that one side or the other is wrong without doing your own research, which is what we are victims of usually in the Arab world, whether it were in Iraq, war in Libya, war in Syria, the coup in Egypt, etc. Always people make assumptions based on the media, and then based on those assumptions, without doing any valid, solid research, they make their judgments against us in the Arab world. And of course, being a Muslim and living in modern world, I think that a lot of people have assumptions about Islam because of certain groups like ISIS, etc. So I was watching this brave American citizen who obviously really did not care what was the political game that was being played. He didn't care. He didn't seem like someone who was affected or cared about the interest of his country. The only thing that he cared about was the safety of citizens, the safety of people who are not fighting. We're not talking about, he was not talking about the army or Hamas or the Palestinian who are involved in fighting. He was talking about the safety of families, of children, of apartment buildings, places, houses where people, normal people like you and me, are living. And he was raising the question about what was happening. And then Ron Desantis obviously answered in very arrogant way, saying that I didn't see Hamas beheading any children. I didn't see Hamas killing 40 children. First, that was wrong. That did not exist. No child has been beheaded by Hamas. Or compare that with what the Zionist regime has done. The Zionist regime has over 4,000 political detainee, including, has over 4,000 political detainee, including children. So that's false. That's already been proven wrong. Hamas itself has released videos showing how they treat children. Women who were captured with their children, mothers who were captured with their children, have been released. So they didn't keep them. They didn't keep mothers and didn't keep children as well. They only kept soldiers, including military.
قلوبنا ها هم الأطفال لم نقتلهم كما تفعلون.
بسم الله. يلا درينك.
Military leadership, certain military leadership that they captured. So that was wrong. And then the American citizen raised the question about the fact that he was watching on Al Jazeera what was happening and seeing citizens and buildings being destroyed and Gaza being not ethnically but completely cleansed, regardless of the ethnicity. People were killed. And Ron Desantis said that he wouldn't trust Al Jazeera. Okay, Ron, you wouldn't trust Al Jazeera, but you also shouldn't trust CNN too. You shouldn't trust Fox too. I wouldn't trust Fox too. I wouldn't trust MSNBC too. Why would I trust any cable news then? This is ridiculous. The idea that if somebody speaks the point of view that I believe or that I assume is true, then I'm going to support them. And if somebody speaks a point of view that is against my beliefs or against my interests, then I'm going to disbelieve them. That's ridiculous. It's ridiculous. Why would I trust then CNN? Why would I trust MSNBC? Why would I trust all these cable news that have been proven time and time again that they lie to American people? They lie to you about the war in Iraq. They lie to you about war in Syria. They lie to you about the coup in Egypt. They lie to you about Russia and Russiagate. They said that Russia interfered in your election. It didn't happen. They lie to you every day about war in Ukraine. So why would they trust them? And then the American citizen, who is very, very smart, said that, well, I don't think they're faking the apartment buildings being destroyed. Of course they're not. So in the age of social media, you can't fake many things. People are going to fact check. People are so smart. They have ability with their phones or their laptops to check so many things. People are well educated. They're reaching for independent media. So it's not accurate, or it's not right for people to it's not accurate to assume that people can fake such things. You can fake the death of 1,000 persons. You can fake these videos of people crying over their families, burying their families. You can fake videos of journalists being killed. I think the Intercept already lost a journalist. A National Inquiry or Intercept. It was one very famous journal that lost a member of them, including other Palestinian journalists has died. You can't fix such thing. So Ron Desantis tried to deflect that, by saying that Hamas uses them as human shields, uses the civilians as human shield. Listen to me. This is why the most condensed place in the entire world. You're talking about 2 million persons all living in a very, very, very small area. So you're talking about people. How can they possibly use them as a human shield? They're everywhere. They are everywhere. You can't bomb a region in Gaza without killing people. You can't bomb 1 meter square without killing a person. There are many, many people there, and they know there are many people there. They have all the technology in the world. The military is very advanced. They know exactly who they are targeting. Also, lie said by Ron DeSantis is that the fact that they give warnings to people before they bomb buildings. They give warnings to people before bombing buildings. This is true in previous cases. In previous cases or previous wars, they used to give a warning of about 1 to 5 minutes warning to people to leave the building, which doesn't make it true to crush somebody's house and destroy their home and destroy or potentially risk killing them, because what if they don't leave in those 5 minutes? But anyway, this is true for previous cases, but in this case, they can't accept their defeat. They can't accept emotionally the fact that this time the balance of power was very close. The fight was very close. It was not like previous times. So of course they acting in frustration. We are seeing people being bombed right, left, and center without any warning. There hasn't been any warning this time for people in Gaza. And that's why the number of victims is very huge. We are talking about we are the sixth day, and we already have more than 1,000 persons killed. I think that they reach already 1,500 persons killed. A strong percentage of them is people who are children and mothers and women. So there is no reason why they would get confused about who they are bombing.
Without warning. They hit us without any warning. It was an F-16 plane. There was no warning, nothing. And you can see the destruction. Look for yourself. No warning. May God help us.
Burials have begun, with women and children among those killed.
What's happening to the people of Gaza is unfair. By God, it's unfair. Young men, children, boys, women, all of them are gone.
The Shamalak family has been entirely wiped out. The entire family, 14 people, all under the rubble. We got out 12 people and still the rest are under the rubble. We cannot get them out.
Tens of thousands have fled their homes, turning to the houses of friends and family or emergency shelters.
I am not the only one left out on the street. There are 17 families in this area that became homeless following this barbaric strike.
The American citizen reassures Ron DeSantis that he doesn't care about the political math of the situation. He doesn't care about defending one part or the other. All he cares about, all he was trying to make a point of, is the fact that there are people in Gaza who are dying because of this bombing, that this bombing needs to stop, this harassment needs to stop, that they have nowhere to go, they have no place to escape this bombing. Everywhere is closed, every border of theirs is closed, and they have nowhere to go. So Ron DeSantis, who is in peak arrogance and peak evil, respond in the most stupid, uneducated way when he says, well, I don't know why these Arab nations doesn't take some of these Palestinians inside their countries. Why they don't take some of these Palestinian refugees in their countries. Are you kidding me? Are you kidding me? Why would Palestinians leave their country and go to another country? Why don't they have the right to exist in their own country? Why would they want to live a refugee in another country? If your country was being attacked, would you leave it for another country? Let's say that you had to leave it. Would that be something that you actually want to? No. Nobody wants to abandon his country. Nobody wants to live as a refugee in another country. So even if the Arab world opened its borders, like for example Egypt did before, when they opened the border of Rafah with Gaza, people didn't leave. They came and bought their needs and went back. People don't want to leave their land. They have the right to fight back. They have the right to hold on to their country, to their land, to their houses. This is absolutely insane that he thinks this way. If this was an American city or American state or even American colony, something that you don't have the right to exist there, you wouldn't want to leave. You didn't want to live in Iraq. You didn't want to leave Afghanistan. You didn't want to leave Libya. You want to interfere now in Niger. You are interfering in Ukraine. Despite that these countries don't belong to you, but you still hold on to it so hard because you want to keep your power over it. You want to control it. You want the power, the access, the resources of it, the oil, the gas, the geopolitical influence. And that's not even your country. Yet you want to tell people in Palestine to leave their country and give up on their country. What right do you have to tell people in Palestine to leave and live as refugees? Why can't they live as citizens in their own country? This shows the true colors of Ron Desantis. He doesn't care. He's just a neocon liberal. He's just a typical RNC candidate. If he truly cared about the safety of civilians, if he truly cared, he wouldn't take side in such thing. And if he truly cared about the safety of people, he wouldn't be supporting war in Ukraine. He is a liar. He's a liar. He pretends that he cares about American interests. He doesn't care about the American interests. If he cared, he wouldn't want you to waste so much money on killing people. You're killing civilians in Palestine. The Zionist regime, Benjamin Netanyahu, is an insane man. He's a warmonger. And you're providing him with millions and millions and millions, not just millions, billions of dollars that he uses to kill people in Palestine, in Gaza. Just like in Ukraine, just like Vladimir Zelensky is an insane man who threw his country in a war with its neighbor. He knew what was going on. He knew the results of this, but he didn't care. And Ron Desantis doesn't care about you. This is why this man should never be your president. This man should never be your president. You should elect a president who, first, puts your interests above everyone. He wouldn't waste your paid money on taxpayers' money on war, on disrupting other people's lives, on killing other people. He has no right to tell people in Palestine how to live their life. He has no idea whatsoever about what is going on with them, the kind of sufferance, the kind of pain, poverty, unemployment, unsafety that they swallow every day in order for them to hold on to their houses, to hold on to their country, to hold on to their cause, to hold on to their dignity, to hold on to their country, to their land, to their ancestors' land. They have every right to exist. They have every right to fight back. They're not doing something wrong. Anybody who would be in their position would have done the same thing, fighting back for their land. You don't have the right to tell them to live as refugees in another country. This is not your country to decide for them. This is their country, their land, and they deserve to fight back, and they deserve to exist. Ron Desantis should never be your president for this reason. And second reason is because he genuinely doesn't care about human life. Why would you think that somebody who doesn't care about human life in Palestine or in Ukraine would care about human life in USA? He doesn't care. He's only doing this because he is trying to get the AIPAC money and lobbyist money and the Zionist lobbyist money, and you take use of that to reach the White House. This is the only thing that he cares about. He doesn't care. Just like Tulsi Gabbard doesn't care in her supporting what is happening, just like Donald Trump doesn't care, just like Hillary Clinton doesn't care, just like Joe Biden doesn't care. These people don't care about you. If they cared about human life, they care about human life anywhere and everywhere. They wouldn't discriminate between an American person, Palestinian, Ukrainian, anyone. We truly care. You truly care. And I truly care, but they don't. So please don't put these people in power. And don't support these people. And don't listen to these people. And don't listen to American media who is lying to you. When did ever the American media tell you the truth? When did they ever tell you the truth about what was happening? Look at this brave American citizen putting Ron Desantis in his place, telling him that Palestinians were displaced forcibly from their land in 1948. They have the right to stand up for themselves. Look at him. That kind of person, I would put that person in power. He doesn't care about making more money and making people in America suffer and using their money for wars to gain geopolitical power. He cares about the safety of people. He cares about the safety of people on both sides. That's a man I would put in power, not Ron DeSantis.